Hello, welcome to Cosmic Duty. I'm your host, Ethan. Um, Today I'm going to be starting the channel off with a video on free will. And the reason I'm doing that is because the whole theme of this channel, the message I want to get across is that you have a moral ought in your life. And I think that the foundation to all different kinds of moral oughts is free will. Because I believe, and I think I can, rationalize this to a good extent. I believe that free will is one of the most important aspects of our lives, in our minds, in our anything really. Because in my opinion, if you don't have free will, nothing matters. Your rights don't matter. Your wrongs don't matter. The sins you commit don't matter. Really, your feelings don't matter. A lot of things that you do and a lot of things that you contribute really wouldn't matter, right? Because if you have no choice to do something bad or do something good, then you cannot be applauded for doing the good. That's one of the reasons I believe that free will is so important, and I also believe it really plays into a larger metaphysical conversation when it comes to like the purpose or maybe the origins of human suffering, because when it comes to stuff like God, like a common question is like, all right, why do we suffer? Why is human suffering a thing? And why do basically, essentially, to put it down to a simple term, why do bad things happen to good people, right? And I believe that answer can be answered by free will. I think that human free will and the ability for humans to choose wrong sort of opens the gate to a lot of different things. Like, I don't know, a lot of different evils that you see on, the news. Be like some guy like murders people, right? It's like, okay, this guy has the same will that I do, right? And he was given the gift of consciousness and the gift of will, but he chose to do something evil with it. And so that, I think, can be sort of explained for a reason, is that if we didn't have the will to do good, or if we didn't have the will to do good or bad, then we really don't have a will at all. If we only had the choice to do good, then we don't really have free will. Um, there's a lot of other things of like human suffering, which again obviously are bad, but it begs the question of like no, I guess it's a base question, but like a hurricane. A hurricane is not evil, right? A hurricane does not have bad intentions. A hurricane does not have a will. So yes, the suffering that it causes is bad, but a hurricane is not evil. The actions that follow from the hurricane are evil, right? If anything, you could make the argument that the chaos and like the suffering that was caused from that gives you the chance, gives like an almost uh, a kinetic energy of choice, of free will, right? Um, so that's again another reason why I believe that free will is so important, is because it's sort of the game of life is free will. It's not, you know, it's not a it's just like it's the thing people say like I'd rather not exist at all than like live a painful life or live a life than live a life, right? Whether that life is of suffering, of joy, of anything, I'd rather just not live. Um, to me, that's completely foolish, because this is the game of life. This is what life is choice and will, and being able to choose good or choose evil, right? Because there are every times in your day-to-day life you could be having that choice right now listening to this video of you have to choose good or bad. And I think that's one of the fundamental parts of the human experience, is that choice between good and evil, between sin and glory, between life and death. In this next section, I'll be talking about sort of the downsides of choosing evil, sort of what that means. The philosopher Immanuel Kant has sort of this theory, or sort of this philosophy, that morality presupposes free will. That true freedom is not doing whatever you want, but it is acting according to a rational moral law. Sort of the categorical imperative is what he called it. It's basically like we are free when we obey principles that we give ourselves. Um, and I think it goes along with this idea of like denying your animalistic instincts or your like animalistic desires. Because if you fall prey to that, then you really don't have free will. And I think it is really interesting to think about that from sort of a Christian perspective, because it's like you have this, like it's almost like that the baseline of our existence and of our desire is sinful. Um, and so to only choose the sin, or to repeatedly choose the sin, is almost like you have no conscience at all, right? It's like, and I think to just tie it all together in the conclusion, to say like the reason, or I believe that we have a like duty, or a cosmic duty, either from God or from whatever you want to call it, that we have to do right, and that we have to choose between good and evil. But making the choice of evil and appealing to our inmost desire, and looking almost down at ourselves instead of up to something higher, it's almost like not even having a choice at all. Because for at least humans, and in human nature, we are flawed. So appealing to your own flawed nature, it's almost like you don't even have a choice to begin with, right? But the thing, and I believe this is why humans were sort of meant to inherit the earth, or meant to, you know, I believe we're not animals to an extent, is that we have an ability to sort of improve ourselves. We have like a will to reason, as Nietzsche put it. Like we have an innate desire to look above. And so I think that is what I want to capture with this channel and with these videos. It's just the importance of morality and objectivity and logic and all the good stuff. Alright, that's the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. If you have any disagreements or arguments, any any anything you think I'm wrong about, maybe you think free will doesn't exist, tell me why. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one, and thank you for watching.